Thanks for being here with us. Can you give us a little insight into what it felt like to win at Augusta?
Oh, it was a dream come true. I think every child growing up who was a golfer and loved golf was, always on the putting green or on the chipping green saying, all right, well, this is up and down to win the Masters, or, make this putt to, win the green jacket. And to actually have that happen and to be able to make that putt on the last hole to clinch the tournament, it was just like a surreal moment. Just everything seemed to just kind of, all the weight and everything lifted off your shoulders, and it was just an unbelievable moment and experience.
And to be clear, that was a putt that several other golfers had missed throughout the day as well from that position. And so to have that lined up and be able to sink it, I mean, that just goes to further show how much you were locked in. I mean, when you think about some of those competitors that, you went up against, especially with it being so close going into the final round, you had the lead. Everybody was kind of hyping up the Rory and Patrick Reed final round and pairing. What goes through your mind at that point?
Really, I was just basically sticking to the motto I had all week. It's just, just go out and play golf. Be you, do what you do, and that's go out and play golf. Don't get into all the hype, and that's something that I've struggled with in the past in the majors, and why I feel like I haven't played as well as I should have in the majors is I thought of them as majors and made them so big and put so much pressure on myself that I have to play well that all of a sudden your mind's somewhere else. The moment's too big for what you can handle. And that week, the whole entire time I was like, got a game plan, stick to it. Let's just go out and play golf. And I tried that as well as I could on Sunday. And on that last putt on the last hole, I didn't know everyone was missing that putt, that day, but it was 3.5 feet, and so I saw the ball go by the hole. I knew what I was doing, so when I lined it up, I just kept telling myself, you've made a million of these. During practices, growing up, at other tournaments, even at Augusta throughout the entire week, I've made a 3.5-foot putt's a 3.5-foot putt. It's just the moment, are you going to make it bigger than it is? And, I lined it up, I knew the line, I just took a deep breath and just, all right, you've done this before, and just stroked it and, was able to make it right in the middle.
And in addition to all of that pressure, you've said that you like to keep track of the leaderboard and know at all times where you stand. So what kind of pressure did that put on yourself? How did that feel to always sort of keep track of that?
That to me is never really bothered me. What that has helped me kind of do is to realize what kind of sense of urgency do I need to have, especially with having a lead going in the day. Do I need to go out and just start attacking and going for birdie on almost every hole, or can I just, hit to the middle of the green, take conservative lines, make some pars? And, I was seeing Jordan make that huge run against me. He got to 9 under and tied me on the lead, but, I knew that he was running out of holes because he was 5 or 6 holes ahead of me. So when he made his birdie on 16 to get to 14 under, I was on 13 green. So at that point, I knew, okay, well, I still have, a short par 4 coming up, an easy par 5 coming up, and a par 3 on 16, where the pin is a very accessible pin where a lot of guys can make birdie there. So if I have to make a push, I have holes to do it. And I was fortunate enough to know that once Jordan finished on bogey in the last of 13, now it's up against Ricky and I, and coming down. And my caddy kept telling me, it's up to you. Yep. He's at 13 under, you're at 15 under. He has 2 holes left, you have 3. It's all going to come down to what you do on these next 3 holes, no matter what. If you shoot even par coming out, Ricky has to birdie the last 2. If you shoot 1 under, there's no way anyone's going to catch you. So you're going to determine your fate here. So who cares about leaderboard and everything? Go out and just play golf, and let's be you. And I was able to stay in it mentally and cap it off.
What changed this year about your mental approach? I mean, what's on your playlist, if you will, going into a round like yesterday and staying mentally focused? Because we know so many athletes really like to kind of fine-tune their mental approach through music. So what's on your playlist coming into yesterday? So,
all week I've been listening to Post Malone and Petey Pablo.
Really?
Yeah, so, I have, that cut swing I make with the helicopter finish.
Yes.
So
yes.
Petey Pablo raise up where it's like, the helicopter. So, So I listened to that just kind of as a really big pump up to try to get you going, but then, I'm still trying to figure out why Post Malone calls his song Psycho,
Yeah.
his new one, because honestly, when I listen to it, I don't hear anything about that. It's kind of a more kind of a chilled, kind of relaxed song. So kind of use, Petey Pablo to kind of get me kind of really going, get that heart rate up, let's go. And then I use Post Malone to kind of, all right, well, let's bring it back to earth. You're not a raging bull now. Let's bring it back to, normalcy and, now just bring that heart rate down. Just because golf is a lot like that. You have a lot of these ups and downs.
Yeah.
You have some spikes when you make big birdie putts, and, you have downs if you make a bogey or just a boring par. And, so I just try to simulate that throughout golf and throughout my practice, and it allowed me just kind of handle those mental and emotional kind of roller coasters.
Absolutely. We only have about 30 seconds left here, but major shift in terms of your attire that you're typically wearing on Sundays. You typically wear that Sunday red, just like Tiger. You said you wanted to be like him when you were growing up and everything. So why the pink? And we saw that Nike actually had a lot of players wearing pink yesterday.
Yeah.
Tiger had his traditional red.
So it was a storyline that Nike was doing for Augusta. We're gonna all the guys were gonna be basically wearing the same color but different style shirts throughout the same days throughout the week. And Sunday they were all about the azaleas, the azalea pink, and honestly, the pink may be the new red. You never know. It looked great with the green jacket. So
looks very good with the green jacket. And then we're seeing some shots of it. Patrick, such a pleasure to have you here on set with us to join us after your Masters win.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.